Good day, everybody. My name is Pure Spam, and I'm an OSRS content creator and Deadman mode caster. Together with the wonderfully talented editor John MP4, we've been tasked with letting you guys know what to expect for the new upcoming Deadman Annihilation game mode that's launching on the 30th of January. Whether you're a seasoned PvP veteran, enjoy the fast-paced progression limited game modes have to offer, or you're chasing the awesome new rewards, this Deadman mode is shaping up to be the best we've ever experienced, and it's the most approachable so far, even if your PKing ability is similar to skill specs.
Off, man! That's so depressing! Oh, you've got no idea!
If you've been living under a rock for the past 10 years, you might not know what this temporary game mode is all about. From its inception, Deadman mode was envisioned to encapsulate the high-risk, high-reward gameplay that has made OSRS PvP iconic for 25 years now by turning the majority of Gielinor into a PvP-enabled area. Picture this, right? Foe pulls up and he starts chopping down your tree. He fells it before you get any logs. He's teasing your lower woodcutting level because, as always, he's devised some kind of ultra-efficient plan. Well, in Deadman mode, you can actually do something about that. You can skull up and attack players almost anywhere, and if you manage to defeat your opponent, you'll be rewarded with everything they have on them. That'll teach him to take your resources. After 3 weeks of boosted progression through XP multipliers, drop rate increases, and power boosting sigils, everyone heads into a thrilling finale where there can only be one person left standing. It's historically been Gielinor's most competitive and action-packed event. Now, I mentioned it being more casual-friendly. Well, in the past Deadman modes, killing a player would result in getting a key of your opponent's 10 most valuable item stacks within their bank. Considering how punishing it is to lose everything you have on you as it is, one of the biggest changes this season round is that bank keys have been removed entirely. You risk whatever you have on you at all times, but anything you have in your bank will be completely safe. No more worrying about what else you might have lost, so plan accordingly with the gear you're taking out with you. Furthermore, now all players have a coloured skull above their head to indicate their risk, similarly to Bounty Hunter, so if you're just getting started or you're rebuilding, then some PKers might just leave you alone. Equally, maybe it'll entice you to skull up if you see someone on the same Slayer task skull suddenly change. In the early days of Deadman mode, Boaty could run around as a level 126, dismantling the entire server, regardless of their combat level. Nowadays, we have combat brackets. These are separate servers, only accessible by accounts within a certain combat level. They're slightly different from last time, with levels 3 to 60, 60 to 80, and 81 to 95, and then 96 plus. With higher combat level brings higher risk, but also higher reward. Both drop rate and experience rates increase as you move through the brackets to justify the leveling up. Now, this rebalance also means some really cool pure accounts for the PKing enthusiasts out there, but in general, it'll help those of you starting later or that aren't as degenerate as, some of us. You'll also receive immunity for a short while on each combat bracket level up. That'll give you some time to train before you can be attacked. And while on the topic of more casual-friendly updates, the PJ timer is being increased from 20 to 24 ticks. Basically, this means that solo PKing will feel more viable and clans will have a much harder time passing you around. 4 ticks might not seem like much, but catching a freeze when you're about to be unfrozen, running behind an obstacle, and then spam clicking your teleport when you're unskulled and out of combat should result in an escape before someone can attack you. When you spawn in for the first time, you'll notice a never-before-seen item in your inventory. This is the Deadman skull. This untradeable item is never lost on death and offers information on how to earn and track Deadman mode points, which are the currency for powerful and permanent unlocks. Your Deadman mode points will also convert into the reward points used after the game mode has ended to purchase the new and previous Deadman rewards on the main game. The Deadman skull will be the only place to unlock sigils, quest unlocks, and even the coveted Ruinous Powers prayer book. You can change spellbook and prayer book once unlocked in a safe zone. You can switch out your sigils. Emblems can even be used on it for the Emblem Trader reward shop. It'll even tell you when the next breach is. You don't have to keep asking in your favorite streamer's chat. You'll earn Deadman points through skilling, bossing, achievement diaries, combat achievements, collection logs, breaches, and even clue scrolls. A full understanding of Gielinor and its content will be paramount here, so knowledgeable gamers will have the upper hand. But equally, no matter what you're doing in the game to progress your account or whatever playstyle you enjoy, you're being rewarded with a currency to spend on powerful and permanent unlocks. Sigils are game-changing modifiers, and previously they were tradable and dropped by NPCs. However, now they'll only be obtainable from your accrued Deadman points within the Deadman skull. This time around, sigils will be split into 3 categories: permanent, toggle, and attune. Permanent sigils are sigils that once you buy, they're permanent unlocks to your character that cannot be lost and they'll be active at all times. Once unlocking a sigil that can be toggled, the sigils are also permanent. However, if you don't want to have them enabled for whatever reason, you can toggle them off at any time. And finally, the attuned category is made up of combat sigils that can also affect PvP, but you'll be limited to only 3 attuned sigils at one time. The main key benefit is that by having skilling and utility sigils as permanent unlocks, players won't be at a disadvantage when it comes to PvPing if they're skilling or PvMing, since they'll also have their permanent unlocks alongside their attuned sigils. Another aim is for a smoother gameplay experience that doesn't have players switching between sigils quite as frequently in a safe zone. When you spawn in for the first time, you'll also be given a free sigil to choose from on the equipped item interface. There's a starter choice between Ruthless Ranger, Formidable Fighter, and Menacing Mage. It's a bit like choosing a class to specialize into based on your early game plans to instantly boost your power into that attack style, and it'll give you a taste of what the sigils can offer. We don't have the time to go over all of them right now, but I'll mention a few that sound really cool to me. Starting with the Sigil of Eternal Belief, which gives you no natural prayer drain to make bossing and training a bit more relaxing, and it also means you can maintain supplies for any PvP encounters. Another is a change to the Alchemaniac Sigil, which now results in auto-alching, so whatever you're doing, you can be trading magic simultaneously with 0 effort. If you're a PKer, you should probably look into the Sigil of the Gods, which empowers your god spells with 10% more damage and some unique special effects. For a full list of sigils and what they do so you can synergize them to their fullest potential, I'd recommend checking out the latest demo mode blog in the link in the description. While we're talking about the shop, I should quickly mention, like on all these game modes, especially after the many iterations and Deadman modes we've had at this point, questing has become a little repetitive. So this time around, with Deadman mode points, you can choose to complete a bunch of quest lines by purchasing a lamp instead. Just keep in mind that completing these quests means you won't receive their XP rewards, but if you only want their benefits and unlocks, then you can purchase a lamp for Recipe for Disaster, King's Ransom, Fremennik Storyline, Elf Storyline, Gnome Storyline, Desert Storyline, Murky Storyline, Dragonkin Storyline, Marjarat Storyline 1 and Marjarat Storyline 2. And once demo mode is over, the total demo mode points you've received transfer directly to Deadman reward shop points. But some new additions will make an appearance that might take your fancy. The Wilderness-themed POH takes me back. It sends shivers down my spine to the first time I ever stepped foot in this eerie wasteland. The Deadman Annihilation weaponry colors for the full crystal armor, the Bofa, and the Staff of the Dead match the iconic Deadman color scheme of previous unlocks. They'll show off your PvP prowess, or maybe they'll laugh at you if, like Dino, you just misclick the new Staff of the Dead special attack. And of course, new and previous rewards are all tradable, and not everybody is daring enough to play a high-risk game mode. As previously, the iconic Deadman breaches are back as a consistent promise of valuable rewards and potential PvPing. Bosses emerge from breaches after an in-game location has been broadcast. The time of the breach can be checked on the Deadman skull, and there's 3 breaches per day at 2 AM, 10 AM, and 7 PM local UK time. They'll offer a 5,000 Deadman point cap per day, and they're in my opinion the premier source of efficient point farming. Don't worry if you miss a day, the cap obviously accumulates so you can play whenever you feel like it as long as it's before the event ends. There will be multiple breach spawns with a larger spread which will hopefully make them feel a little bit less chaotic while also increasing the amount of NPCs so you're much more likely to actually be rewarded. We'll see old bosses making a comeback with a few new interesting additions that include new and adjusted mechanics as well. If you're surprised to see the TOA Warden for the first time, well that's nothing compared to what new mechanics and other bosses are going to be on display. But I won't spoil too much. Their ordinary and unique drop tables have also been adjusted based on the last 2 iterations to sit somewhere in the middle of Deadman Apocalypse and Deadman Armageddon. There's a guaranteed tier 5 drop if you do above 250 damage and all of their previous uniques, including the Fairy Trinkets, the Trinket of Advanced Weaponry for the corrupt weapons, the VLS, the Morrigan's Axes, the Javelins. While the Trinket of Vengeance has been removed, there'll be 2 new unique drops to replace it. The Fortuity Trinket is a new item which, when held in your inventory, increases your drop rate multiplier by 1x. This is a must-have for Giga PVMers like No Monkey in search of those coveted unique boss loots, but it has to be charged with a whopping 10 million gold pieces. This GP is dropped to a PKer on PvP death, feeding into the high-risk, high-reward mentality that players have come to love about Deadman mode. The Trinket of Avarice is our second trinket edition. As the name implies, this trinket automatically notes all items you get, but it also magnet sucks them straight into your inventory or even looting bag. That's going to be pretty convenient, so you can keep an eye out on the minimap if Framed suddenly runs in. The newest and, in my opinion, coolest addition this time around are the Deadman chests. Alongside it, Zamorgul will need to be defeated, as well as the minions he summons to gain access to the bounty it holds. Looting it, provided you're risking 100k and not under immunity will take 1 minute in single and 30 seconds in multi, and any form of combat will interrupt the player, so be prepared to fend off and defeat everybody in proximity that are also looking to see what's inside. It'll be worth your time and patience though, as the first person to open the chest will be guaranteed either a trinket of advanced weaponry, trinket of undead, Morrigan's axes, Morrigan's javelins, or a rare chance of the following new rewards. The ancient armors are back in all 3 combat styles, and they're highly offensive Deadman mode specific sets that only require 20 defense. They're perfect for the lower level brackets, and in the right hands, despite their weaker defenses, they're worth utilizing on maxed accounts too. Now, if any of you are an avid fan of temporary game modes like Deadman mode, you've probably seen or played the Raging Echoes League or the more recent Gridmaster. There we saw the Thunder Kapesh, a one-handed melee weapon imbued with the power of lightning to strike down multiple enemies in a 3x3 area with devastating impact. It will also be usable in PvP. Last but not least, also making a return from previous game modes is the coveted Dog Sword. This two-handed behemoth of a weapon is a special attack that utilizes every single God Sword special into one. Combined with the Kapesh, this is going to be a lethal combination. I should also add that both these weapons will be 60 attacks, so we'll definitely see them on the lower level brackets too. The final really cool addition I haven't touched upon to spend Deadman points on, and that's something I personally am really excited for, is a book to unlock the Ruinous Powers Prayers. While these prayers do not boost your defenses, they instead are offensively stronger than the current best-in-slot prayer book for a glass cannon approach. The biggest benefit in my eyes is that you won't have to grind out Chambers of Xeric for a significant power spike, and it could even be a consideration for the finale. The prayers have of course been adjusted for a PvP game mode, so you don't take increased damage on the wrong overhead, the vengeance effect won't be as overpowered, and the drain effects won't work either. As with every previous Deadman mode tournament for the past 10 years now, this 3-week-long event all leads up to an epic finale, and I've been there for every single one of them. Picture this. On the day of the finale, you log into your brackets world, for there will be one battle for each, geared in your finest combat attire that you've accrued through numerous hours of progression. With the added power of sigils equipped from your journey across Gielinor, and with bloodthirst in the air, you know that carnage will soon begin. You recall back to previous Deadman wars. You're all alone, and you've seen how this ends for the solo player. Picked off and targeted one by one like mere goblins being cannoned by a Slayer booster in Lumbridge. But suddenly, you're teleported to a far-off island. Mist covers the land, and shadows of corpses slowly emerge. You recognize this place. Maybe it was a Torvesta video. Diamond's Crater, home to Bounty Hunter. A fitting coliseum for a bloody massacre indeed. But you are still alone in this barren wasteland. Or are you? As the mist clears, you see other adventurers. Better protect from... Wait, allies? Praise Guffix, you've been given an alliance. On this finale island, 2 teams are forged, slowly pushed to the northern area by a deadly poisonous fog. Here, the haze engulfs all until the crowd is thinned, then friends become foes, and the teams dissolve for an epic free-for-all finale. Only one player can be the last one standing. Tune in live for an epic finale on the 21st February over on twitch.tv/oldschoolrs. I'll see you in the crater, and I'll see you in Deadman mode. Don't forget to check out the blog link in the description for everything we've covered and more. This was really fun to make, so special thanks to the Old School team for letting John MP4 and myself, Pure Spam, bring you this video. Cheers.